11:15 this Monday morning, showing you a live look right now at the roads in Tarrant County. This is in Fort Worth on Rosedale, and if you know that area, you know that that is a lot of water for that space. Certainly a reminder to be careful when you're getting out and about. Authorities are asking you to stay home if you don't absolutely have to get on the roadways, because it has been a busy 24 hours for our first responders. Right now on the phone, we are joined by Matt Zavatsky from MedStar. Matt, I want to thank you for joining us. I know your crews have been very busy. How would you describe what they are seeing right now on our roadways?
Well, it's sort of your worst nightmare, Mark, because we've had such a dry spell that a lot of the oil and the residue things that are on the pavement now with the water has really made the roads very, very slippery, in addition to the high water issues that we're having throughout the community.
Talking to Mario Ruiz in our weather department about the rain totals that we are getting near, and when you've got a situation where it has been dry all summer long, that means those compacted grounds just don't hold this water well. They're heading to the roadways. What's your advice for drivers right now?
Well, Mark, you and the team have done a great job. If you don't need to go out, not a good time to be out driving at all. However, if you do need to go out and drive, leave early, drive very slowly. Certainly don't drive distracted. This is not a time to try and be, checking the WFAA weather app while you're driving. Do that before you leave. Avoid standing water on the roadways. Try and drive on the tracks of the cars in front of you if you can. Always we say turn around, don't drown. All of those things really come into play here. And for goodness sakes, if you do see a crash on the side of the road with first responders there, give them a lot of room to work and slow down. We certainly don't want to have first responders struck while they're on the scenes of these calls.
A lot of times when we talk about severe weather here in North Texas, it's high winds, it's a threat of tornadoes. This volume of rain, though, this threat of flash flooding is a little bit different than folks here are typically used to. How would you compare this to other severe storms that you've seen in North Texas?
Yeah, I think it took a lot of people by surprise because we were, again, so used to being the hot, dry summer. And, with the rain starting overnight and then people just getting up and doing their normal routine and heading out just like they would any other commute, this is not like any other normal commute. We've responded to 34 car crashes since the rain began last night. 10 of those occurred during the morning rush. 3 of those crashes were rollovers. People just aren't accustomed to this, and people just really need to pay attention, slow down, take their time, and don't drive distracted.
Again, given that these are conditions that we're just not really used to here, when you hear the term flooding, you typically think low-lying areas, but are there specific problem areas you should be on the lookout for, or is this pretty widespread?
It is very widespread, and it you can come across a road-covered roadway without even really noticing it. People think, oh yeah, the roads that we normally see, the little indicators of how many feet is this sign under, but literally just under overpasses or just very small, low-lying areas on the highway can cause enough of a ponding to cause a car to hydroplane and roll over, like we've seen this morning.
You talked about the rate of incidents that you guys have been dealing with already. Do you see that slowing down, or is it picking up based on the conditions out there?
We have not seen any slowing whatsoever. Now, hopefully, if the rain does begin to abate, as you all are predicting later on this afternoon, the afternoon commute might be a little bit easier, but, it's going to take a while for this standing water that's accumulated on these roadways to go away. So people need to be as diligent on the afternoon commute as we've asked them to be during the morning commute and throughout the day.
Well, and as we've seen, it's not just drivers that you're asking to be careful. We've had pedestrians who've run into issues too.
It's interesting. We've had 4 auto pedestrian crashes since 9 o'clock last night mixed into this because cars can't stop as quickly as they can. People, honestly, are using umbrellas probably for the first time since June, perhaps. And the umbrellas cause a visibility issue, and people are trying to run through the rain, and they're not waiting to cross at crosswalks. They're going in between parked cars downtown. We've had a couple of pretty significant auto pedestrian crashes, and we get really worried about kids that are walking to and from school. In this type of weather, you can't see as well as a driver. You can't stop as well. So just everybody needs to be hyper-vigilant as we go into the afternoon.
Well, just like cars can't tell how deep that water is, pedestrians can't either. So definitely some obstacles when you're walking through those puddles too. A good reminder. Matt Zavatsky from MedStar, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Mark.